The 20 must-watch horror movies of 2024. Part 1. Number 1. Nosferatu. In the quiet town of Wisborg, Germany, 1838, a young estate agent, Thomas Hutter, is given an urgent assignment. Travel to the distant Carpathian Alps to finalize a property deal with the enigmatic nobleman, Count Orlok. Though reluctant to leave his beloved wife, Ellen, behind, Hutter sees this as a golden opportunity to secure their future. As he journeys deeper into the mountains, he encounters strange warnings from frightened villagers, all of whom refuse to speak of the Count. Ignoring their superstitions, Hutter presses on, eventually arriving at Orlok's isolated and crumbling castle, where an eerie presence seems to linger in every shadow. Orlok himself is a man of unnatural stillness, his gaze both piercing and unreadable. As Hutter attempts to complete the deal, he begins to experience disturbing visions and unexplainable events, his nights plagued by a creeping sense of dread. Meanwhile, back in Wisborg, Ellen finds herself drawn to a force she cannot understand, as though something unseen has begun to pull at the edges of her mind. She becomes restless, plagued by ominous dreams that leave her weak and haunted. As Hutter unravels the truth about Count Orlok's dark intentions, he realizes that what began as a simple business trip has become a desperate struggle against an ancient and insatiable evil, one that threatens not only himself, but the very soul of the woman he loves. With time running out, the shadows deepen, and a chilling question lingers. Can the darkness be stopped before it consumes everything? Number 2. The Substance. Elizabeth Sparkle has spent her life in the spotlight, once celebrated for her talent and beauty. But as time passes, she finds herself struggling to remain relevant in an industry that worships youth. The pressure to maintain perfection weighs heavily on her, and the world around her seems to turn colder with each passing day. Then, she hears about the Substance, a mysterious and highly coveted treatment that promises to restore what time has taken away. It's more than just a beauty regimen. It's an opportunity to reclaim control, to become the best version of herself. At first, the effects are astonishing. Elizabeth experiences a newfound vitality, a transformation that seems almost too good to be true. But as she delves deeper into the unforeseen consequences of her decision, she begins to realize that perfection comes at a terrifying cost. Caught between who she was, who she is, and who she is becoming, Elizabeth must face the darkest parts of herself before it's too late. How far would you go to be perfect? A chilling and thought-provoking journey into the dangers of obsession, self-image, and the pursuit of perfection. The Substance blurs the line between desire and horror, leaving a lingering question. What happens when we lose ourselves to what we think we should be? Number 3. Heretic. Two young missionaries, Sister Barnes and Sister Paxton, go door to door, spreading their message with unwavering devotion. They believe their faith will guide them, their mission a simple one, to bring light to those in need. But when they arrive at the doorstep of Mr. Reed, an enigmatic and well-spoken man, their routine encounter takes an unexpected turn. At first, he seems welcoming, engaging them in conversation that is both thoughtful and challenging. Yet, as the conversation deepens, so too does a growing sense of unease. Something about him feels off. What begins as an intellectual debate soon shifts into something far more unsettling. The house around them seems to close in, the air thick with a tension they can't quite explain. As the evening progresses, the young women begin to question not just their beliefs, but their own perception of reality. Trapped in an unfolding nightmare, Sister Barnes and Sister Paxton must confront the limits of faith, the power of doubt, and the darkness that can hide behind even the most polite smiles. A gripping and psychological horror thriller, Heretic explores the fine line between conviction and manipulation, making you wonder, when does belief become a prison? Number 4. Speak No Evil. While on vacation in Italy, Ben and Louise Dalton, along with their young daughter, Agnes, meet a charming British couple, Patty and Sierra, who are traveling with their own son. The two families quickly form a friendly bond, sharing laughs and stories over the course of their stay. Months later, Ben and Louise receive an unexpected invitation. Patty and Sierra have invited them for a relaxing weekend at their remote countryside home in England. Wanting to rekindle their newfound friendship and eager for a small getaway, the Daltons accept. At first, their hosts seem as warm and welcoming as they remembered. However, small, unsettling moments begin to surface, subtle discomforts, strange behaviors, and an underlying tension that they can't quite put their finger on. As the weekend unfolds, these uneasy feelings slowly intensify, leaving the Daltons questioning whether they are simply being overly polite or if they have stepped into something far more dangerous than they ever anticipated. A chilling psychological horror, Speak No Evil explores the thin line between civility and survival, forcing its characters and its audience to ask, how far would you go to avoid making a scene? Number 5. Smile 2. Rising pop sensation Sky Riley is living the dream. With a massive fan base and an upcoming world tour, she seems to have everything she's ever wanted. But behind the flashing lights and sold-out shows, something sinister lurks beneath the surface. As Sky prepares for her biggest performances yet, she begins to experience strange and terrifying occurrences that she can't explain. Shadows move where they shouldn't, smiles linger too long, and an unshakable feeling of dread tightens its grip around her. At first, she tries to ignore it, blaming stress, exhaustion, or the pressures of fame. But as the eerie visions grow stronger, she realizes that something far more disturbing is at play. With her reality unraveling, Sky is forced to confront the darkness creeping into her life. But the deeper she digs, the more she questions if there is any way to escape. A chilling sequel to Smile, this psychological horror film explores the price of fame, the weight of hidden trauma, and the terrifying power of what lurks beneath a smile.